Athletics feeling good after beating up on the Phillies. We got the Orioles and the Athletics. Enjoy, everybody, and we'll talk to you after the ball game.
Welcome to the weekend and welcome to Baltimore. The Athletics road trip continues against the Orioles. Good to get on the board last night against the Phillies, and now the first of three coming up against Baltimore. Hello everyone and welcome to Camden Yards. Jenny Kavnar with Dallas Braden, and we're excited to see what the A's offense has in store tonight. Yesterday it was an absolute show. They tied a season high with 12 runs. Everyone got a hit. And almost everyone got a home run, it felt like.
It was a hit parade. It was a hit barrage, a 13-hit barrage. It was led to that offensive outburst, Jenny. And we saw a lot of different ways that this team scored. You mentioned the long ball. 4 of those, the patience, 5 walks. That provides run-scoring opportunities for this team, who put together a season-tying high 12-run outburst. And for the Athletics, the fact that you're getting production from the top and the middle and the bottom of the lineup, that's how you stack W's.
It was also the largest margin of victory because JT Ginn did his thing on the bump with 8 strong innings. He'll turn the ball to Jacob Lopez tonight, and we'll kick off the series against Baltimore. Plenty of green and gold fans in the house. We'll get you lineups next.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Summer's here. The giveaway tonight, the Tupac bobblehead. Fans filing in very early to score one of these. Pretty awesome, if you ask me.
Yeah, I can appreciate the Orioles jersey. I can guarantee you that mine very quickly will be sporting Kelly green with gold trim as soon as I get that bad boy home and out of the box.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You spent a little more time in the Northern California area, probably. Let's get you game time weather presented by Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. 70 degrees. We have had gusts of wind on and off today. Right now just 10 miles per hour, 26% humidity. So as the team moves from Philadelphia here to Baltimore, hope the bats were packed. It was an offensive explosion yesterday to salvage the series, get a 12-1 win over the Phillies. Let's take a look at tonight's lineup for the green and gold, brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers. Nick Kurtz will lead it off, followed by Shea Langoliers. That is Tyler Soderstrom. Brent Rooker is the DH. Carlos Cortez in there. Jacob Wilson, Lawrence Butler, Zach Geloff, and Jeff McNeil.
And Jenny, it'll be right-hander Kyle Bradish on the bump tonight for the Baltimore Orioles. 8th start of the season, and frankly, the first 7 have just not gone as well as Kyle Bradish would have liked. And coming off a very bumpy outing his last time out, Jenny, and that was against the Yankees, got through just 4 innings of work, a season high, 5 earned runs, 4 walks, which would tie a season high, 4 strikeouts, but it's really been a command issue for Kyle Bradish, something we'll dive into a little deeper as his outing unfolds. But that's something to pay attention to, is whether or not he can throw strikes early.
Let's take a look at the defense. Behind him, Adley Rutschman does the catching for Bradish. It's Pete Alonso, the newest Oriole, at first. Jeremiah Jackson's at second. Gunnar Henderson at short. Weston Wilson, a late entry to the game tonight. They scratched Blaze Alexander, who was originally going to be at third base. Now Wilson will cover the hot corner. Taylor Ward's in left. Leody Taveras in center. And the Gold Glover, Tyler O'Neill, in right field. There's Craig Albertez in his first season as a manager, and of course first season here with the Orioles. He spent all that time with Stephen Vogt, Guardians bench coach the last 2 seasons, cut from the same cloth, and good to see that it appears he's healing well. Had a facial fracture, in fact 7 of them after taking a foul ball off the face. So welcome to the big leagues.
That's it. Well, it wasn't long after enduring that he was doing an interview and talking about it, and I'm just thinking to myself, you know what? That's a tough dude to not be able to get behind when he's answering the bell, quite literally answering the bell after wearing one.
Right? Just eating some baby food, return to work the next day and get it going. And Kurt's returning to work after a weekend with some friends and family, or the beginning of the week. Fly ball, shallow left field. It'll be caught in foul territory by the third baseman in Wilson. Well, Shea Langolier's coming up, and Dallas, he came back off paternity leave with a bang.
Yeah, he came through quick, fast, and in a hurry. Just like that baseball left the ballpark. No waiting around for Langoliers to get back to business. And you see the reaction from his teammates. Just goes to show not only how much Shea's presence means to the lineup, but how much he means to that clubhouse. Each and every one of those guys, you know the adage, dad power, returning from the birth of your child. And for him to put that on display his first at bat back.
Here's the 0-1 from Bradish, and that'll miss. Yeah, I know he was smiling from ear to ear, of course, after the ball left his bat, but it was his teammates, as you said, in the dugout, jumping up and down, getting crazy. The engine that makes this team go. You look at the batting average leaders in Major League Baseball. Shea's on it, top 5, sitting fourth at 338.
Here's the skipper. Marcotte very pleased with not only the offense yesterday's ball game, but JT Ginn, a phenomenal outing for the right-hander.
I feel like when you put up 12 runs, it's all about the offense, but he was the star of the show.
Well, and at times after a 12-run outburst like that, you feel like sometimes on the pitching side, you can kind of stumble to the finish line, but still able to win a ball game. That was not the case last night.
I called him full count for Langoliers. To look again. Must be pleased with the performance yesterday. Picked up his first win of the season as well. So efficient with the 96 pitches over 8 innings. But Dallas, the one thing we really enjoyed, of course, the 8 strikeouts with the ground balls. Your great defense go to work. Payoff pitch coming for Langoliers. That'll get through on the right side, cut off though by the second baseman. Bounce over to first, and a 4-3 for the out number 2.
Take you back to last night. Right-hander spun a gem. And you said it, partner. Some ground balls, some big-time double plays when he needed them. He was able to get the punch out when he needed, and I think that's why the ball game unfolded the way it did. It was really everything turning up green and gold, turning up Ginn. But that's what happens when you fill up the strike zone as consistently as he did, which is something we kind of talked about at the beginning of the broadcast with our folks back in the studio, Chris Townsend, Shooty Babbitt, and that was what you want to see Jacob Lopez do. Fill up the zone.
Heels of a performance where Jeffrey Springs wasn't able to get through 6. He's definitely on track to do so. A couple of good outings from the starters. And of course, Jacob Lopez will look to pick that up here tonight when it's his turn. Right now, an 0-2 count for Tyler Silverstrom after 2 quick outs for Kyle Bradish in the first. Here's the pitch, Silverstrom. Another foul ball.
Bradish ahead 0-2 here, something he's not been able to do a lot of, and that's get from strike 1 to strike 2. That has been a bit of a battle. Just to kind of put that into context. Counts that start 0-1 that end up 0-2 for Kyle Bradish. Well, 43% of the time. Jenny, big league average 52% of the time. So it's tough if you're constantly trying to convert the 1-1.
Here's the 1-2 foul.
get to strike one, you'd like to get to strike two as quickly as possible. We call it the race to 2 strikes for a reason.
That guy calling balls and strikes, Bruce Druckmann. He's the crew chief tonight for the umpiring crew. Austin Jones at first, Carlos Torres at second, and Nate Tomlinson at third. And the pitch to Soderstrom. Watch a close one, 2-2.
Close indeed. That's probably one of those pitches that ends up going either way. Obviously, with the ABS, you get a definitive answer.
Orioles catchers haven't challenged too much this season. 2-2 again, that is strike 3. Sinker gets Soderstrom there. First strikeout for Kyle Bradish in a quick 1-2-3 inning. The lefty, Jacob Lopez, coming up. Bottom of the first this Friday evening here in Baltimore. Scoreless with the Orioles coming up, and tonight's starting lineup is brought to you by your Bay Area Chevrolet dealers. That's Taylor Ward, a familiar face for these Athletics, who's with the Angels for the last 8 years. Traded over here. Then it's Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Pete Alonso, O'Neill, Kobe Mayo, Tavares, Jackson, and Wilson, all facing the left-hander tonight, and Jacob Lopez. Lopez fires off the first pitch, missing out of the zone. 278 on the season for Taylor Ward. Just forgot some accessories in the back pocket there.
That's it. Flapping in the wind.
There's the 1-0 foul.
Jacob Lopez, 7th start of the season. Jenny, we've talked so much about commanding the baseball, and that's going to be the takeaway from tonight's ball game with Jacob Lopez. That's what you're paying attention to. In the last outing, tied a season high in terms of innings, but also set a season high in runs allowed. And I think attacking the strike zone has been the message.
Ball foul on the third base side.
We saw it with Ginn last night. You know, I remember the at-bat that Kyle Schwarber did end up hitting a home run on, and sure, JT Ginn working with a little bit of insurance to start the ball game with. But you saw Schwarber take a big hack on a 2-0 sinker. Didn't get to it.
Thought about it.
Ooh,
Called the ball ABS challenge by Shea Langoliers.
I think Shea's all over this. This is a good pitch. Looked good to me anyway. What do I know?
This ABS challenge is brought to you by T-Mobile, and you know a lot, Dallas.
Hee-ha! Look, what I tell you.
It's not working in the ballpark at the
review,
moment.
the call is a strike. The batter is out.
But there's the call.
Oh,
So we had it on our screen.
that has just got to be one of the worst ways to get that news. Is you're anticipating, even as a player, you're anticipating the video board to give you something.
Yeah, on pins and needles here, and no
Bam.
one knew. But yeah, strikeout now number 1. Langoliers doing the catching. Kurtz at first, McNeil at second, Wilson at short, Zach Geloff with his third career start at third base, Tyler Soderstrom in left, Lawrence Butler in center, and Carlos Cortez out in right field. First pitch swinging for Gunnar Henderson, fouled on the first baseline. Gunnar Henderson leading the team with 9 home runs this season for the Orioles. Hitting just above 200. And a swing and a miss. Slider. Got the left-hander to go around.
Now a pitch like this, 0-2, well ahead of Gunnar Henderson. You got some room to play. But if it's a miss, is it competitive? Is it near the strike zone? Is it something that he can work off of?
Back to the slider. Out of the zone again, 2-2.
Now you've softened him up. He's seen a couple pitches away. Jenny Gunnar Henderson, something that he has going for him that maybe some other guys in this lineup don't, is health.
My goodness. Orioles absolutely banged up. 2-2. And a foul ball.
They're missing, what, 3, 4, 5, 4 pretty impactful players.
You had that up to 414 games missed due to an IL stint. We're sitting here in early May. Last year, it's an Orioles team that used 70 players throughout the whole season.
And that is quite a bit of turnover. I mean, you are churning through a roster. And I know the positive spin is, hey, at least you're getting a look at guys who are also getting a look at the big leagues and seeing who can help.
In a battle with Lopez.
Battle indeed.
Pitch number 9 on its way. And now a full count. Payoff pitch, missing outside. Henderson will work his walk. And Dallas, that's what you're talking about. 10 pitches there. It doesn't turn into an out. Unfortunately for Jacob Lopez, that pitch count now climbing up with a runner on.
That's it. Well, the man behind the dish on balls and strikes tonight, Bruce Dreckman, got his start umpiring men's fast pitch, believe it or not. As a teenager back in Iowa, Ray. Tight zone has led to 37 challenges, tied for 6th most in baseball when it comes to the ABS and the overturned calls.
If you build it, build it, build it. Adley Rutschman, the batter now. 1 out, 1 on. Moving a ball on the ground here could certainly help Jacob Lopez's case. Getting ahead helps as well. One swung on and fouled.
Well, here you go, another 0-2 count now. Just trying to get rid of the at-bat sooner rather than later. And I think we'll keep an eye on the ability to do that with both starting pitchers tonight.
A couple fastballs, we'll see where Lopez goes. The 0-2. Slider in the dirt. So Rutschman's hitting .313 on the season, and after Henderson stepped off, Kurtz went back to tag him again. Got back in time. Baltimore wearing their new City Connects. Unveiled here for the 2026 season. Have a lot of green in them, don't they? Ripped out to left, and Soderstrom will charge in to get it. First to third for Henderson. He's going to get a stop sign. And a single for Rutschman.
Yeah, Adley made a big turn around first base, and I think that was in anticipation of a potential throw from Soderstrom into third. That's where Gunnar Henderson, great athlete, ends up. He sees the ball down towards that left field line. Makes an easy decision for him to get to third base. But you'll see Rutschman, big bend around first, but Sodi with a great arm gets it back in quickly. We'll keep Rutschman at first, keep that double play in order.
You have to deal with the big bat of Pete Alonso. Here's the pitch for a strike. Alonso signing the free agent contract with the Orioles after spending all those years with the Mets. Mets home run leader in the franchise. This ball is lifted in the air, high and shallow out to left. And so shallow that Jacob Wilson beats Soderstrom to it. 2 gone.
Well, there's some room to roam out there.
Oh, forgot your hat.
I mean, the dimensions in this ballpark have changed a few times here over the last handful of years or so. Jacob Wilson headed way out down that left field line. It was a long, long run for Soderstrom. Don't know that he was going to be able to get there.
2 gone, 2 on, and Tyler O'Neill up. Swings to the first pitch, a ground ball to Wilson, and he'll go to first. So the A's able to get out of a jam. They leave 2 stranded and will move to the second.
A splash at the ballpark. Join us Tuesday, May 26th. It's swim night. Enjoy our matchup versus the Mariners. It's the perfect night for swim teams, families, fans ready to dive into summer all together. You can grab a special themed ticket to receive an exclusive swim night cap and rock the green and gold with pride all summer long. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/theme games.
Does it come with participation ribbons too?
Likely.
That's all I remember about swim team.
It'll match your floaties.
There you go. Speaking of floaties.
Uh-oh. I'd like to keep him as inactive as possible.
Oh, yeah. Brent Rooker up to lead the charge here in the second. Rooker, Cortez, and Wilson do up. A first pitch strike off the sinker from Bradish. Bradish was effective in the first. A quick 1-2-3, 14 pitches, 9 for strikes. Talked about a guy who's been dealing with some command issues.
Strike one has been a bit of an issue.
Rooker went through 0-2.
Let alone strike two. But for Bradish, 52% first pitch strike rate, which is not good when you think about the average being 61, 62%. And Jenny, he's had an issue. Right-handers, left-handers. Was able to subdue left-handers the first couple games of the season, no problem. But over his last 5, it has been damage galore from lefties. But the righties, Jenny, they're hitting almost 400 against Kyle Bradish, 396.
See what the righty Brent Rooker can do here with a 1-2 count. Pitch is high. Yeah, 304, the batting average against this season. That's almost 70 points higher than what he's had in his career. Typically a 235 batting average against. A swing and miss for Rooker. So the sinker hits him, second strikeout.
Well, that pitch can be a big weapon for Bradish, just kind of like we saw with JT Ginn last night. This one elevated, so not as much horizontal movement nor downward movement. But when that ball is down, you start to see it sink a little. He's got some good life to it, to the arm side.
Carlos Cortez with a 1-0 count. His numbers this season, 373. He's been such a valuable piece for Mark Kotze to get in the lineup, especially against right-handed pitchers. He's sitting one game over 500, leading the American League West. Been in that spot for quite some time.
Yeah, and the 734 team OPS tells you that they've done a really good job of combining the necessary elements to have success offensively in this league, which is can you drive the baseball? We're talking extra base hits.
Ground ball sharply hit to second. Jeremiah Jackson on over to Alonso, 2 gone.
You know, that's where that slugging percentage comes into play. But can you combine that with pitch selection, being patient? Well, that man, Nick Kurtz, pretty good job of being patient over the last 3 weeks or so.
I'd say so. He's gone on base at a good clip.
But when you put all those together, and that's why I said it at the beginning of the ball game, you know, the 4 homers yesterday, the 5 walks, 2 very important elements to offensive success, power and patience.
Well, this guy can obviously be pretty aggressive in the batter's box. Contact hitter in Jacob Wilson, but he has done well over the last couple weeks. 11-game hit streak is what he enters the game here tonight with. He's off a couple high pitches, 2-0.
Well, something you notice with Jacob, and we've seen it for a couple of years now, when you watch him start with that wide open stance and then slowly start to work his way more towards straight up. There he goes. And you wonder if pitchers have ever really thought about holding the baseball maybe just a split second longer as Jacob Wilson does start to work his way more towards straight up, as Jay Willie's going to take his time out.
Pitch from Bradish, swung on in the air, out towards center field, going deep, back towards the track, and a catch from Taveras. 3 up, 3 down once again for Kyle Bradish.
MLB is partnering with Crisis Text Line to increase mental health awareness. For free 24/7 confidential support in English and Spanish, just text MLB to 741-741.
Pitch outside to Kobe Mayo. He begins bottom of the second for B-More. Nickname across their jersey.
Where are you at on him?
I like him. Can't lie. I really like him. I will say it's a little confusing on a night like tonight during batting practice when they were wearing some green tops out there and that orange bill.
Well,
kind of looks a little yellowish from up here.
You know, who's talking to who, or those guys that are out, you know, saying hi to each other from 2 different teams.
Swing and a miss off the slider.
For me, I said, look, I like them, but there's no way that I can look at those and not think about the Miami Hurricane color scheme.
Canes? Yeah, it does. It does have that resemblance.
I mean, a strong to quite strong resemblance.
And a swing and a miss. So Jacob Lopez gets the first out via a strikeout, much like he started the game in the first.
Kobe Mayo going to get a good look at that slid row down and in. And what you like about this is this pitch is not all the way down and in wrapped around that back foot necessarily. It is down and in working its way towards that back foot. And I think for Jacob Lopez, you take note of that. Again, it just goes to show you what happens when you're in and around the zone. And I'm going to sound like a broken record, but it's something that matters to this man a whole lot based on how he goes about his work.
Got back in the zone there. 1-1's the count to Leody Taveras. Of course, a very familiar face from the AL West. those years with Texas, and then was traded to Seattle last year, where he finished out the 25 campaign. Signed a free agent deal here. That's what's interesting about this Baltimore team, the makeup, right? You look at a couple trades, couple free agent pickups. Of course, with all the injuries, long gone are a few years ago, where they had this great homegrown system. These guys that were supposed to come up and be the future and win championships.
Well, those guys are here now, and I think they have been here for a while.
Henderson and Rutschman.
And Jenny, long enough where I think it's been more than fair to ask, you know, has this window come and gone?
Popped up on the right side. Kurtz on top of it, and the catch. 2 gone.
And sure, the high expectations, when not instantly met, can start to seem lofty, especially when you might not see some of the progress with individuals that you had hoped to see quickly. I think that's something, it's a humble reminder that this game is very difficult, and you don't just meet and exceed those expectations year in and year out.
Team expecting to get Jackson Holiday back sometime in the middle of May. So assume maybe end of next week. Fall as well had a setback after he had the hamate early in spring training. So Jeremiah Jackson's been playing second. Swing and a miss.
Lopez seems to have a good slider going tonight.
Couple runners on in the first inning, able to get out of it with 2 quick outs of Alonso and O'Neill. Here an even count 2-2. Look at that Gunnar Henderson at bat that resulted in a walk. Of course, we've been harping so much about the 22 walks that Lopez had coming into the game. 10 pitches. Just took 3 to get the last 2 out, so able to kind of come back around, not get too deep in just that first inning, but right here has a full count now to Jackson, who's going to take his time out.
You see the numbers last season: 37 walks and 92 2/3, 22 in 30 innings. Sometimes it can boil down to mechanical issues where you're fighting yourself. Other times it's just a matter of pitch execution and not being able to finish pitches.
Trying to get out of this one. The 3-2, a swing and a miss. Slider gets Jackson. 3 for Lopez to this inning. We'll go to the third.
And you can create family traditions every Sunday at the ballpark, starting at just $99. Our family 4-pack includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 drinks, 4 bags of chips or popcorn. And remember, kids 14 and under can enjoy exclusive items on all Sunday matchups. Plus, you've got free ice cream, pregame treasure hunts with Stomper, postgame. Kids get to run the bases. You can secure your family 4-pack today at athletics.com/family.
Ground ball to the shortstop and Gunnar Henderson, and he'll throw it over to first to retire Lawrence Butler. That's the first out in the top of the third. 7 up and 7 down for Kyle Bradish. That'll be up to Zach Geloff. Playing third base for the 3rd consecutive game. I'd say it's helped him out offensively too. Showed bump, pulled back, and a called strike. 3 hits, Dallas, over the last 2 games, all extra bases.
Yeah, he's been swinging it. And I think what you take away from it is just how much I think being able to contribute on both sides of the ball for Zach Geloff matters.
Got the triple and the home run in yesterday's win. Now has a 6-game hit streak going. 7 for his last 21.
I was talking with some folks very close to Zach today before the ball game. Guy who's seen a lot of his swings over the course of his lifetime. Grandpa in the house, and he said, "I tell you, he just looks comfortable." He said, "I think you're right. I think he enjoys being the athlete that he is."
And a swing and a miss. Curveball gets Geloff. 3 strikeouts for Bradish. Well, now let's get a word from Sacramento International Airport. Two outs, top of the third here in Baltimore. Scoreless between the A's and the Orioles. 9-hole hitter Jeff McNeil up.
Got him.
Yes, it did. Hit by pitch will send him down to first, and McNeil will shake it off and catch up with his former Mets teammate now, and Pete Alonso.
Little cutter slider action that just kind of runs up and in, catches McNeil on the elbow.
First base runner for the A's here tonight with Nick Kurtz back up. Bradish was able to get through that second quickly. 14 pitches for the 3 outs. Dallas, that is the inning that he's struggled with. He's given up 8 total runs through his 7 previous starts this season in the second inning. There's a ground ball, weakly hit towards third. Charging in is Wilson, the throw over, and it's not in time. Kurtz hustling up the line, and he is safe.
Well, how about that hustle from the big fella? I think he knew out of the box, I haven't hit this terribly hard, but I think I can smell a knock. Chugging down the line, foot on the bag before the throw. He'll let you know I'm safe.
Threat from the A's brewing here with 2 outs. 32nd straight game, reaching base safely for Kurtz. He's done it in a variety of ways. And tonight's with the infield single. Longest active streak in baseball. 2 on for Langoliers, pitching for a strike. Streak keeps rolling, Dallas.
Sure does.
Swisher next on the list, as Kurtz is now tied with Mark Ellis and what he did back in 2007. 20 years ago, Swisher got on base 36 straight times. Of course, Jack Cuss with 40. 0-2.
Well, when you have his plate discipline and you also have the skill set to put the bat on the ball that Nick Kurtz does, feel pretty good about your chances of reaching base every day.
To the old research tool, we got 28.4 feet per second on that sprint speed from the big fella.
Moving.
There's the 0-2 to Langoliers, and that's going to stick in front of Rutschman, so the runners will stay at first and second. Get Langoliers. Rutschman tags him, strikeout to end the third. 2 left on for the Athletics. A's Baseball is brought to you by the official Pest Prevention, ridding your space of pests officially. Back here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Beautiful flowers out front. Spring is blossoming all over. Weston Wilson swings at the first pitch, pops it up. Shallow left. There to catch it is Zach Geloff. One pitch, one out. That'll get you right back on track.
Well, I think so far both guys trying to put the narratives to bed that have kind of defined the early start to their seasons, and that's an inability to throw strikes early and inability to command the baseball. And I think they've done a nice job of both here.
Taylor Ward up for the second time now. Struck out on ABS successful challenge by Shea Langoliers. It's the 50th correct challenge of the season for the Athletics. They're 57% when it comes to ABS. 50 for 87 now. We're like, what, 6 weeks into the season?
Yep.
Feeling like you enjoy the addition of ABS? You're just ho-hum on it still.
Yeah, I mean, I as I've said before, I can appreciate the desire to have the calls be correct, but with the way the game has gone, it feels like we're also just kind of asking for the majority of the calls to be correct, which is a tough pill to swallow when you know you have the ability to get every call correct. And I think fans at home probably feel the same way. Hey, I'd like to see it for every single pitch. Why are we only doing it for a few of them? I get it, which is kind of why I'm not 100% sold.
Yeah, you're right down the middle on it. Very obvious. Very obvious. Full count here for Ward. Walks quite a bit. 20.5% walk rate, top 3 in baseball. Here's the pitch, a swing and a miss. Jacob Lopez goes to the cutter and wins that battle.
Well, it's been the cutter and the slider that have been doing the work tonight so far for Jacob Lopez. This one not that big sweeper, a little shorter break to it. But for the second time tonight now, Ward down on strikes.
Picks up Gunnar Henderson. He walked in the first. It's a 10-pitch plate appearance. Lopez has started him 0-2. We're getting deeper into the count, ultimately walking him.
Well, Henderson's got a good look at that slider. Saw about a handful of them in the first at bat. He's got a pretty good idea of what it looks like. You see why some of the numbers look the way they do for Gunnar Henderson. Been a bit of a struggle all the way around, at home, on the road.
Two and two now. Amongst all the injuries that the Orioles have had to deal with the last 2 seasons, Henderson's been able to play just 150 games the last 3 years.
We know the best ability is availability.
Really pretty night here in Baltimore. Right back to Lopez. He'll underhand it to first.
Athlete.
There you go. Put an exclamation point on it. Get all your highlights, analysis, live updates, and more. Everything an athletics fan needs. The NBC Sports California app. Download now. Great shot of the sunset here in Baltimore. In a harbor. All the things
Is that the right accent?
In a haba? I don't know.
No.
We'll have to work on it. Tyler Soderstrom up to off the fourth. A swing and a miss off the curveball.
That famous tea party went down a little further from here.
In a haba.
It did go down in a harbor, but not in this inner
Is that more
harbor.
Boston-y? Is that what you got? Baltimore. Got to kind of run it together, you know.
Baltimore.
That's probably better. Probably got to slow it down, not speed it up.
Yo's.
And that is it. Have you had a crab cake yet?
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. I'm thinking about
Well, the weekend's young.
heading over to Joe's.
It's really confusing to go from a city where you have all these cheesesteak places, first names,
Well, look, I mean, Jimmy's one of the best.
Geno's, Pat's. Now you're going to Joe's. Soderstrom will strike out. Dallas, you said it. These guys are trying to rid the narrative. And I think for Kyle Bradish, that was about a lot of non-competitive pitches, being out of the zone.
Well, and look, this is a pitch. Very hard curveball, 84 miles an hour. But out of the hand, looks like it might be something that kind of stays on that bottom rail of the strike zone. And that's what being able to get ahead with the fastball can do, is it plants the seed that, hey, he might be able to attack me with this pitch later in the at-bat as well.
Head 0-1 to Brent Rooker. Rooker's had good success against the Orioles. He's reached base safely in 17 of his 18 career games against the O's. 368 over that time. One and two.
You know, it's something to remember about Kyle Bradish, a guy who had Tommy John surgery. And I think last year, being able to work his way through the season the way he did and have the success that he did. Look, just 32 innings under his belt, 6 starts. But the fact that he was really, I think, successful in multiple areas where you feel good about the rehab process that you went through. You feel good about your time spent in the big leagues and the outings you had.
And Rooker will strike out on the foul tip. That's 3 straight strikeouts now for Bradish, 6 total in the game.
Well, and the back-to-back punch-outs on the curveball. But sometimes we know that it's going to take a while for a guy to be able to, sort of knock the rust off after working through the rehabilitation process. You get into games, and that's a whole nother feel you're trying to gather. From a hitter perspective, should it be something that really affects your swing? Kind of like we saw with Brent Rooker in the side, it could be a matter of just kind of getting used to what that swing feels like on the other side of your rehab process.
Broken bat and a one-hopper to third. Cortez is retired, 3 up, 3 down once again for Kyle Bradish through 4. Piled up some strikeouts. Take a look at the High Rollers, brought to you by Circa Resort and Casino. On this date in 1968, Catfish Hunter tossed the 9th perfect game in MLB history against the Twins in Oakland. He struck out 11 and also happened to be pretty good at the plate. 3 hits and drove in 3 of the 4 A's runs that day. The 13th no-hitter in franchise history. Pretty cool moment. We're going to get to another pretty cool moment coming up tomorrow. It's kind of that time of year, Dallas. No hit season, if you will. Or perfecto season for those who celebrate.
For those who acknowledge, yes. Well, I think the stuff we saw from JT Ginn last night, short of perfect, no problem, but just a great job of setting the tone here. And I think Jacob Lopez, in his own way, kind of picking up where JT Ginn left off. Both guys tonight, we talked about it, Jenny, have done a really nice job of things that, frankly, they just haven't done throughout the season.
Both starters tonight in Bradish and Lopez. Minimal traffic. Should put a batter on base. Lopez via a walk. Bradish hit Jeff McNeil. They've both given up a single, and that's where we stand. 2-1 count here for Adley Rutschman. Rutschman with the drive to center. Going back is Butler. And a wait shy of the warning track for the catch. One down, Pete Alonso coming up. Venture Mobile provider for better coverage and bigger savings with Xfinity Mobile, and get Wi-Fi plus 5G that won't strike out. Xfinity, imagine that. Pete Alonso had a pop-up in the first. This one a drive to right. Cortez will turn and watch it leave. A home run for Pete Alonso. That makes 8 on the season. It's a 1-0 Orioles lead here in the fourth.
You know, Jenny, when Pete was with the New York Mets, I watched his early work one day, and his focus was quite literally hitting the ball as hard as I can the other way, Dallas. That's what I'm trying to do. And I watched him and Francisco Alvarez really just go round for round, trying to hit the ball as hard as they could the other way. And I think for Pete Alonso, that's when you know that things are going well for him, is when he is driving the ball through right field, not just out to, but through right field.
Talk about the work before the game. He's the guy that'll go into the cage after a game, right? Spend countless amount of minutes in there and time, even if he had success on the field during the game. Worker of the craft. Out to right. Cortez will have a chance at this one. 2 gone. Tyler O'Neill retired. Kobe Mayo coming up.
One thing we know about Pete Alonso is the power is there. The power is something that has been ever present. I mean, we've seen years where he's, hit for a relatively high average. We're talking 260, 270. I mean, just last year, 272, his all-star campaign.
First pitch swinging for Kobe Mayo, high and deep out to left, but it'll stay in the park, and Soderstrom will make the catch. Solo home run from Pete Alonso has the Orioles up 1-0. A's Baseball is brought to you by Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank. It's a 1-0 game. Orioles in the lead. Pete Alonso sent one out to right field. His 8th homer of the season. Now has 7 home runs in 13 career games against the Athletics.
Something about the green and gold, huh?
I'm sure a lot of teams in the National League East probably have a larger number than that. It's a lot of homers in his time. Jake Wilson hit a homer yesterday. 11-game hit streak. Wilson, Butler, Geloff due up here in the 5th. Bradish has only allowed 2 on. That was back in the 3rd inning. Ground ball that'll stay fair, tucked inside the first baseline. Pete Alonso got to it, but not able to get the ball, and Jacob Wilson on base. That is now a 12-game hit streak. And it puts the green and gold in prime position to try and get a runner around.
Well, Jay Willie, I'm not sure you can get much further inside the baseball than he tries to do so here. Alonso able to knock it down, because who knows, this ball squirts past the polar bear. It could very well be a double for Jacob Wilson.
There's Lawrence Butler. Grounded out to short, swings at the first pitch. That'll dump into left field. A liner for a base hit, first and second. Back-to-back hits here for the A's.
And not only back-to-back knocks for the Athletics here to open up the 5th inning, but Lawrence Butler, and I said it yesterday when we saw the day that Lawrence had. We saw patience at the plate. We saw him drill a ball to left field early in the game. Ball unfortunately caught. But we saw 2 flyouts to the left side, a double to left center, deep fly ball to center field. And now tonight, what have we seen from Lawrence Butler? A couple more balls to the left side.
Geloff swings at the first pitch, and that's going to get through. Past a diving Wilson. Here comes Jacob Wilson home. An RBI single for Zach Geloff, and we have a tied game.
And how about it?
The Geloffs love it.
Yes, they do. The gaggle of Geloffs in attendance. 94-mile-an-hour sinker starting to run in on the right-hander. You can see Gunnar Henderson maybe a little too far over towards third base. The ball shoots past him to the left, and he can't gather it, and the green and gold are on the board.
2 on for Jeff McNeil. Just high, 1-0. McNeil was hit by a pitch. Back in the second. Hit the protective arm wear, so he was just fine. Right up the middle, that's exactly where the shortstop Henderson was shaded. They'll try and throw it to first, and the out there. Second and third now, as they weren't able to get Geloff. 1 gone.
Well, Gunnar Henderson, just a tough time coming up with it. Going to hit right off the thumb. Looks like the glove closed just a hair too soon. Have no fear, Jeremiah Jackson is here. He's able to clean it up on the back end, able to take care of McNeil. Now this meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. It's probably just to make sure that Kyle Bradish understands how they want to take care of business here against Nick Kurtz. You got 1 out. I mean, you can look at first base and see there's nobody on it. Don't know that you're terribly interested in loading up the bases to get to Shea Langoliers. Don't know how wise that would be.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch for the A's in their lineup right now. Doesn't really allow you the free pass. Infield in. Second and third for Kurtz. He'll take a pitch, 1-0.
And this is where the lack of success against both sides of the platoon comes in play. It's not a matter of pick or poison when lefties are hitting almost 300 against Bradish. Right-handers hitting almost 400 against him.
Kurtz able to leg out an infield single. That extended his on-base streak, and that's a fair ball. Into right field down the line. Lawrence Butler played it. Here comes Geloff. And keep it moving, Kurtz. On to third. Bobby Crosby tells him to get down. How about Nick Kurtz? The speed around the bases. Triple for Kurtzy, 3-1, Athletics.
Well, that ball checked up in the right field corner made it very tough for Tyler O'Neill to dig it out. He was waiting to play the carom that never came. Kurtzy gets a slider middle, able to tug it down the line. Polar Bear can't get to it, and it was off to the races. Who needs a horse when you got the big Amish pulling the wagon? Nick Kurtz hits first. He sees it down the right field line. He starts picking them up and putting them down around second. Bobby Crosby with the windmill. And the big Amish with a triple.
That was impressive. Oh, yeah.
Get him going, Papa. Come on. Come on. 3. Come on. Oh, I love it.
Get that man a uni.
Let him know, Hefe. Let him know.
Jeff Kurtz as a base coach is probably one of my favorites that we find in the stands. That's great.
Oh, man.
Kurt's family having a lot of fun this week. Of course, made the short trip to Philly, saw him at Citizens Bank Park, and now going to be here all weekend. Can't hide from us, Jeff. Can't hide from us. Love to make a nice reel for him of all the good shots we've had this week in the stands. 1-2 for Langoliers. First triple of the season for Nick Kurtz. You'll remember he had one of those as his first extra base hit of his major league career. It wasn't the homer, it was the triple. Thought that was going to be a specialty at this level. And a swing and a miss. Langoliers goes down on the sinker. 2 gone.
Well, that seems to be where Bradish has found the success with that sinker, and that's elevating it.
Sprint speed fell off a little bit, by the way, for Nick Kurtz on the triple, 27.5.
Yeah, he's safe at third, and that's what matters.
That's right. Swinging in the dirt. Curveball's gotten Soderstrom. Struck out on it in the 4th. Also caught looking off a sinker in the 1st. 7 strikeouts for Bradish. Ties his season high. He's done it 2 other times. Oh, 1 to Soderstrom, foul back. Sodi was 2 for 10 in that Philadelphia series. Did have a home run. Also walked 3 times. He was coming in yesterday's game. Here's the 0-2. Kicks away from Rutschman, but right down the 3rd baseline. So Kurtz will hop on back to 3rd. The 1-2. Swung on, sharply hit to second, backhanded by Jackson. And that will end the 5th, but not before the A's could take the lead. 4 hits for 3 runs, up by 2. Real funny or trending, it's on TikTok. Get exclusive athletics content by following us at NBC Sports Authentic. Maybe we'll have our friend Jeff Kurtz on there.
Authentic indeed.
Wheeling his kid around the bases. Nick Kurtz, the triple that scored 2. Athletics up 3-1 now for Jacob Lopez, working here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch strike to Leody Taveras. Has to feel good for the pitcher, right?
Well, it's good as time as any to get right back on the horse if you're Jacob Lopez and just keep force feeding this Orioles lineup strike 1.
Two now with the foul ball. Taveras had a walk-off grand slam this year in the 12th inning. That's going to be strike 3. I'll sit down. The Orioles have made quite a highlight reel this year with some grand slams. 4 in total.
How about that?
This guy, Jeremiah Jackson, coming up. He's had 2 of them. In fact, he hit one after that foul ball that hit his manager's face. So.
Ouch.
Good result, just a little rough in the middle. So popped up. Foul territory. Langoliers close to the dugout, and it'll get over.
Well, for Jeremiah Jackson, talking about getting the big hit, you also like to get those big hits with guys on base. You're talking about the grand slams. 6 homers so far this season, and 4 of the 6 have come with guys on base.
Makes a big difference, and a reason why he's the leader in RBI for the Orioles right now with 24. From Lopez, swung on, fly ball out to right. Cortez with the catch, 2 outs.
But as we know in this game, things can change. The tides can turn quickly. I think that's something that Jeremiah Jackson has sort of experienced here over his last 3 weeks or so.
Nine-hole hitter Weston Wilson up now. Lopez had traffic in the first, and then he's retired 13 of the last 14 batters faced. Of course, the lone one that reached was Pete Alonso on a solo home run in the 4th. Oh, 0-2.
Weston Wilson also maybe one of those emergency relievers, not quite in the way you'd like to see him on the mound. Seen him on the mound twice this season already, believe it or not.
Yeah,
for
got
the
some
Orioles.
innings in, huh?
Yes.
Here's the 0-2. How'd he do?
Oh, look, you get a couple outs here, you get a couple outs there. I don't know if it's necessarily bragging right material.
He's had 5 appearances as a pitcher. Is that when you have to start throwing bullpens, or what's the point? You get out there and get some work in?
Not if you can do anything about it here at the plate.
Here's the 2-2. Now a full count. Dallas, we've seen a couple of these. Talked about them at the start of the game. The 0-2s that turn into 3-2s.
Well, and with a guy who has had a lot of success over his career against the Athletics on deck, you'd like to get the inning over.
Here's the payoff pitch. It'll be a walk, and it will flip over to Taylor Ward. Second walk here for Lopez. Really, that's something he's cut down on a lot. Last 3 outings, 5 total walks for him. Much different story in that first handful of outings for Jacob Lopez. That'll get away from Langoliers, and Wilson's going to move up into scoring position.
Yeah, ball just off the glove. We'll go pass ball for those scoring at home.
Taylor Ward 0 for 2 tonight, both strikeouts. He does lead the team with 37 hits this season. The 1-1 side, and it'll be a favorable count for Ward.
Well, Lopez looks like he's just coming out of that front side a little early right now. Working underneath that slider. Justin Sterner starting to loosen up in the A's bullpen right now. Lopez at 77 pitches.
3-1 count against Ward. Trying to get through 5. Here's the pitch, and it will be a strike. 3-2. See the numbers there. 15 earned runs in the 6 innings that he's pitched. The 5th inning this year. Chopped to short. This will play the hop, and he will get out of it. 5 innings for Jacob Lopez. 1 runner stranded. This All-Star Teacher Award is presented by Provident Credit Union. Go to NBCSportsCalifornia.com/AST to check out Brad Davis of Orangevale Adventist School in Orangevale, as well as other finalists, and vote now. The winning teacher school will receive $30,000.
30 racks.
Let's do it. The designated hitter, Brent Rooker, will lead off the top of the 6th. He'll take a pitch outside from Kyle Bradish. Rooker, Cortez, and Wilson, heart of the order here. A's up 3-1. Able to build a nice 5th inning after not much action against Bradish. 3 consecutive singles. Nick Kurtz delivering the triple. Runs just kept coming.
Well, it's how quickly, a few hits that get strung together can start to change a ball game.
Called strike 2-1. Look at Kyle Bradish in the last 2 outings alone. Totaled up for 9 innings, 8 runs, and 18 base runners.
That's a lot of traffic to navigate.
Well, out to center. It's going to be right at Taveras. One down, and that'll bring up the left-handed hitter, Carlos Cortez. Carlos tonight, a couple of ground outs. Carlos coming off in April where he hit 400. Is that good for a month?
That'll work.
It's the AL Player of the Week. Pretty cool honor for a guy that grinded through the Mets organization, was able to get his opportunity with the A's last year. Made a big impression off the bench, and now you're trying to get in your lineup almost every day. Down 0-2, and he went. Rare strikeout for Carlos Cortez. That'll now be a season high for Bradish at 8.
Kyle Bradish has had that bender working. A curveball once again. You saw it against Soderstrom. And now you're getting a look at it here against another lefty in Cortez.
Just the 9th strikeout of the season for Carlos. Swung on a line drive out to left and just foul right below that 333 sign.
Kyle Bradish, you just mentioned 8 strikeouts, Jenny. 76 pitches here through 6 innings. Pretty good job of being efficient for the right-hander.
He's trying to get through 6 for just the 2nd time this season.
And he's been up over 95 plus pitches a few times. 96 pitches against the White Sox, 97 against the Diamondbacks, 104 pitches against the Royals. That got him through 5 1/3. Did surrender 10 hits, punched out 7. And you bring that up because, I mean, with half the hits for the Athletics tonight with 5 compared to those 10, but he punched out 7 in that ball game, has 8 tonight.
1 now for Wilson. Jacob extended that hit streak to 12 games with his single. Started the scoring. Started the offensive run, I should say, for the Athletics in the 5th. I'll take a walk. A patient Jacob Wilson.
How about it?
5th walk of the season for Jacob.
Well, if you're Jacob Wilson, you don't see many pitches that you don't think you can put in play, put the bat on.
A little different. There's Lawrence Butler now. He had a base hit off the first pitch that he saw in the 5th, and they'll check over on Wilson.
Well, and I think you'll see a little different setup here with Lawrence Butler tonight than maybe we've seen in the past. Just from this side, you'll see his hands maybe a little further back, but a little further away from his body as well. And you see how quickly he gets those hands up into that firing position, ready to go. And Lawrence is, in terms of his lower half, that front side, not a terribly noisy guy, not a big leg kick. You watch that front foot. I mean, he is quickly up on the toe and ready to go.
2 curveballs for strikes.
And I'll see if Bradish doesn't try to run a fastball up top, and if he misses, go back to that curveball. He's had success against the left hand. He's with that breaking ball. He very well may try to spin a 3rd one. And if that's the case, you're Jacob Wilson, looking to read the ball in the dirt here out of the hand of Bradish.
And a swing and a miss. Slider got Lawrence. So 9 strikeouts for Bradish tonight.
A's fans, this is the way. To start your week, you can be one of the first through the gates on Tuesday, May 12th for a matchup with the Cardinals and score the exclusive Star Wars Grogu giveaway from a galaxy not so far away. Get tickets today at athletics.com/promotions.
Gunnar Henderson up to bat, and a strike from Jacob Lopez, working into the 6th. I think you and I should give our hand at Star Wars Trivia Night. We'd make such a great team for that.
Oh, my.
Topping here this Friday night at the ballpark. Great crowd on hand. Sterner warming up again. 1-2.
Gunnar Henderson has got a steady diet of that slider tonight from Jacob Lopez.
Lopez coming off that season worst outing against Cleveland, where he went just 5 1/3. As he's now in a deep count with Henderson. 5 1/3 in that one. 8 hits, 6 runs on 96 pitches. 6 full counts here tonight. The pitch count up at 84.
Oh, great pitch. Good challenge fastball. Close enough to the strike zone that Gunnar Henderson has to respect it.
Payoff pitch again. Lifted in the air, out to right. Going towards right center is Cortez, and he'll make the catch. One out, and that'll bring up Adley Rutschman.
Well, Henderson just out in front far enough. You see the frustration there on the face of Gunnar Henderson, who knows I hit it well, probably could have caught it a little better. But that's why we call it a game of inches.
Lopez threw 5 1/3. Matches his season high. He's done that 2 other times. Love to see him be able to put away a couple batters, get through 6, especially with the lead that the Athletics gave him in the 5th inning. Quickly 0-2 for Rutschman. Baltimore only has 2 hits tonight. The home run from Pete Alonso and a single that Rutschman had back in the 1st. Be a broken bat, foul ball. Rutschman will head back to get a new piece of lumber.
Again, just little wrinkles here and there to change speeds. For Jacob Lopez, I think him gaining more confidence in using his fastball late in counts will, I think, continue to build the confidence in him utilizing his other stuff. But I think the fastball, even in the limited times we've seen it tonight, has been a big factor for him.
Here's the 1-2. Swung on, hit well, out towards left center field. That ball's going, and Lawrence Butler leaped but couldn't get there. Solo home run for Adley Rutschman, and that cuts the Athletics lead to 1. Number 5 on the season for the Orioles catcher.
Well, and Adley had also gotten a pretty good look at the slider from Lopez. This one, middle down, but Adley able to stay back after breaking his bat on one. Sends this into the boys in the bullpen. Law Dog just not able to get back in time and elevate and try to make an attempt.
That'll be it for Jacob Lopez. The 2 solo home runs. He's still up 3-2, but now it'll be up to the bullpen to get through this one. We'll take a break here on the pitching change and be right back.
Look at tonight's powerful performance brought to you by Xfinity. Powering pitches in and out of the strike zone was Jacob Lopez for the majority of tonight. 5 1/3, 3 hits, couple earned runs, just 2 walks, 5 punch outs. All that on 91 pitches. Maybe a little sour look on the face of the left-hander. Out of the game after the Adley Rutschman homer. But I think all in all, Jenny, giving your team a chance to win a ball game, maybe curtailing some of those command issues while keeping the other team in a low-scoring position on the scoreboard. You'll take all that. Those are the positives. And right now, it'll be Justin Sterner on try to end this 6th inning.
Sterner against Pete Alonso, and a called strike off a sweeper. Alonso has the other solo home run in the game. Orioles were up 1-0. A's answered back with 3 in the 5th. Baltimore getting one back after Rutschman hit one out.
And if you're going to give them up, make them worth 1. And it doesn't matter how far they go. If there's only one guy at the plate and nobody on base, well, you can live with it. And that's the idea of, with a lead, challenging guys, like what I was talking about JT Ginn and the Schwarber at bat last night. You got a lead, you got a big bopper up there, go attack them with your best stuff and let the chips fall where they may.
There's the 1-2, sing low to even the count. of long balls for Pete Alonso. It's 2019, 272 of them. This one a ground ball, and Jacob Wilson able to range to his left and get there. 2 gone.
How about Jay Willie? Go get it. Jacob Wilson having to range a bit up the middle to his left. Does a nice job. And you can see Jacob Wilson, a good first step there. And with Alonso running and the strength of his arm, able to make this play look a little easier than it might be for most. You know, that's another thing that this pitching staff, I think, has started to feel, and that's the confidence in being able to pitch to contact.
When you have a top-rated defense like the Athletics, it helps a lot. Geloff completes the final out. Solo home run from Adley Rutschman, and now Athletics up 3-2.
And gold at the ballpark. You can join us Friday, May 15th, as we host the Giants. Open a 3-game set. You can stick around after the final out for our post-game K-pop fireworks show. This is one of those nights you won't want to miss in West Sacramento. You can get your tickets today at athletics.com/promotions.
Bring your blanket. You might miss the front row seat if Chris Carey takes it before you can, you know?
Wow. Shots fired.
He's teaching you a thing or two about K-pop and Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Hello Kitty.
Yeah.
You know? No one count here for Zach Geloff. Bradish still working in the 7th. There's your gaggle of Geloffs. Great to see them all week, along with the Kurtzes, enjoying this East Coast road trip. They enjoyed watching their son do a lot of hitting, too. 7-game hit streak for Zach now. Had a single in the 5th, also drove in a run. Zach's completed the cycle as a third baseman now. He hit a double in his first start, triple and a homer yesterday, and now the single today. I don't think you can really stretch it like that, but you know.
Count. I appreciate your
I
effort.
just really wanted to box that up for you. It's certainly been impressive to watch Zach come into this year, take the challenge as a true utilitarian now.
There's so many different ways you can go with the science of hitting mechanically, in terms of, you know, the type of swing, whether it's your approach angle, how long you're able to keep the bat in the zone, the barrel, I should say. But I think, much like on the pitching side of things, there's so much in regards to confidence that impacts what you're doing at the plate and just the belief in yourself.
Here's the 3-2. Ground ball sharply hit to third. Wilson across the diamond, 1 out.
Well, this now the longest outing of the season for Kyle Bradish. He had completed 6 innings one time prior, and that was in that game against the Diamondbacks. Something that this Orioles rotation needs, something that Orioles bullpen needs.
And another starter landing on the IL today as Jeff McNeil takes a strike. Kate Povich, fortunately, to join a couple of his teammates, form discomfort.
I mean, think about it. You got 4/5 of the rotation on the shelf. Eflin, Kramer, shout out 209.
Oh yeah.
Povich, lefty Trevor Rogers.
I mean, you think about it. Eflin, Tommy John surgery, so he's out.
Yeah.
You go to Kramer, it was a quad strain in between starts.
Yeah, running, trying to get ready for your next one.
And then the Trevor Rogers one, he's dealt with an illness that put him on the IL. So frustrating all around. That's going to be strike 3. Slider got Jeff McNeil, and that'll be 2 outs.
Well, time now for the endorphin player, brought to you by In Shape Fitness. Yeah, we know what Nick Kurtz is all about in the bottom box. Take a look at Pop's top left. Get it going. And you can bet those endorphins are going. And we're going to have to start keeping an average for Mr. Kurtz. That's pretty much his triple, if you ask me.
Put it on the back of his baseball card.
We saw him the other night, hanging on every pitch, deep breaths. I mean, that's just the ebb and flow, the life of a parent here in the big leagues with a front row seat to watch your son get after it. Look at that.
Aww, and his grandbaby.
Double duty.
What a great family, the Kurtz. 4 children, including Nick. A couple of grandchildren, keeps him busy. Two and one now for Kurtz. Last year in Baltimore, Nick hit the ball well. Came up with 4 hits, but all singles. Tonight, an infield single, the triple, and this ball in the air. Shallow center. Going out is Henderson, and he'll make the catch. 3 up, 3 down here in the 7th. The stretch in Baltimore.
Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota. Let's go places.
Back here in Baltimore, 3-2. Athletics holding on to their lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. New reliever in for the Athletics. Justin Sterner able to get a couple of outs, replacing Jacob Lopez, and now it's Scott Barlow's turn.
Scotty B, he's been spinning magic. And it doesn't really matter lefties, righties. He's done a great job both sides. He has absolutely dominated left-handed hitters.
Kobe Mayo is going to be lifted for the pinch hitter, Samuel Basayo. Chance early against a left-handed hitter. No 1 count. Basayo's going to take a timeout. Those are some bright batting gloves. You talk about the different shades of green that can be seen. I don't even know, is that an orange? Do you still put that in the category?
I don't know. I mean, that's got
a red flare in there? Might be his personal color. You know, that's kind of part of the game these days. Here's the 1-2. Inside. Ends up the count. Basayo coming off the bench with a 3-game hit streak. 5 home runs on the season. From Barlow. Ground ball. McNeil to the ground. He gets up and 1 out.
Well, Jenny, I want to take just a quick moment. Seeing as how we call Sacramento home, there's playoff baseball going on right now at the amateur level, and the folks over at Rio Americano High, well, they are riding a high. How about this? Back-to-back perfect games in the playoffs for Rio Americano. Just an incredible job by the Raiders. Pierce Tully, young man, threw a no-no on Wednesday. Joey Dorman followed it up today with 7 finely spun innings of perfection. Shout out to Lando, Jason Landreth, a Sacramento baseball legend. as well as Mike Torres, a former coach of mine actually, at what we referred to affectionately as Beaver Tech.
Oh, yeah.
American River Junior College out there in Carmichael, California. My head coach, Kevin Higgins, at the helm. Spent a lot of time in the pro ball, 20-plus years in the New York Penn League. Former coach in the New York Yankee system, time with the Expos, but boys over at Rio getting it done.
I just want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said perfect.
Perfect.
Games
That's
back
right.
to back.
Back to back. Perfection. I figured it's a just time to celebrate that as we celebrate Catfish today.
Yeah, the back-to-back perfect games. They happen a few, years apart. Swing and a miss. Sweeper gets to Veras. Scott Barlow has 2 outs.
Scotty B keeps spinning it. I mean, this dude has just been absolutely nasty against the left-handers. That's why I wanted to highlight the numbers, or the lack of, that the lefties have been able to post against Scott Barlow. And coming into tonight, 450 games under the belt of Scott Barlow since the start of 2019. Nobody has seen a big league mound more than Scott Barlow since 2019.
Bullpen's working out there.
And Trey Gibson for the O's. You saw Hogan Harris, the lone left-hander in the bullpen for the Athletics.
Sharply hit, backhanded at short. Wilson, long throw. Kurtz reaches up. And that will be the final out of the 7th. We'll move on to the 8th. Shea Langoliers coming up. Dervis champions. Next week, a homestand in West Sacramento will feature the St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants traveling over to Sacramento. Next road trip will be on the West Coast. That's music to our ears. 4 against the Angels, 3 against the San Diego Padres. He's looking pretty good here. Athletics 19-18, trying to win their 20th ball game of the year, up by 1 against Baltimore. Chance to add here in the 8th. Shea Langoliers, Tyler Soderstrom, and Brent Rooker, all against the reliever Trey Gibson.
Well, pretty good ball game for Kyle Bradish. Trey Gibson on now. It's the 2nd ball game of the season for the right-hander. We've talked about what this.
Langoliers gets through on the left side. Base hit for Shea. These were able to string together some hits in the 5th. See if they can work that again here in the 8th.
This ball scalded through the hole on the left side. Slider at 86. I got that well north of 100 off the bat of Langoliers.
Hit streaks all around for these fellas, but you mentioned it. Bradish with the 7-inning season high for him, the 10 strikeouts.
Oh, easily his best outing of the season.
First quality start. Chop back to the pitcher. Go to second. Orioles can't turn 2. Throw was too low. Anderson couldn't get it out on the transfer.
Yeah, just a little slower developing maybe than the Orioles would have liked. Gibson took a little time getting the ball out of his glove. At least you make sure that lead runner at second base. And with that throw low, Henderson's going to have to gum up and deliver a strike, I think, wisely.
Rooker with 1 out.
Opted not to.
Take a strike. Felt a little high. One. These batters have been really good this year with the challenges. Situationally, we'll have to see how it all shakes out. in terms of if, the challenges end up favoring them based on situations, getting base runners, turning strikes into balls. But the idea, they know the zone, and that's going to be a liner into left. Base hit for Rooker. Soderstrom will move up into scoring position.
That's a heck of a job by Brent Rooker to cover the inside part of the strike zone the way he just did. I mean, you got a fastball running in, off, chasing the right-hander. And you see Rook just open up. And you just knew the other day when Rooker was able to string a couple of hits together, hit the homer, you felt like you could feel him starting to see the baseball a lot better.
0-1 for Carlos Cortez. You had it. That single for Shea, 112.7 off the bat. The one from Rooker, 111.4. Contact here. Carlos Cortez is going to challenge the strike call.
The pitch is called a strike. The hitter is challenging. The pitch is a ball. The count is 1-1.
Ball down.
Just talking about how these A's hitters know the zone. 62% correct as hitters in the ABS. 1-1's the count. Here's the pitch. Lifted in the air, out to left. Taylor Ward will make the catch for the second out.
Well, time now for our play of the day, brought to you by your California Ford dealers. Jacob Wilson got the party started with a single, and he was able to sneak past the polar bear. The Law Dog stepped up, got himself on base via knock, and then they just started finding holes, capped off by the triple from Nick Kurtz. Oh, Nicky Nukes.
The speedy Nick Kurtz. Single also gave Jacob Wilson a 12-game hit streak. Tonight with runners in scoring position. The Orioles 0 for 3. They have 2 solo home runs. His first 2 games in Philadelphia, the A's really struggled. Runners in scoring position. Yesterday in their win, 4 for 6. And Wilson shoots it down the first baseline again past a diving Alonso. In comes another run, and Soderstrom to third goes Rooker. An RBI single with 2 outs here, and now the A's are up by 2.
This at bat, the at bat in the 5th, they tell you exactly how important it is to be able to use the whole field and how unpredictable you become as a hitter. Now, they obviously have committed to where they're positioning Jacob Wilson, how they're going to align themselves defensively, and that's twice now that Jacob Wilson has beaten him to the right side and down the line on the right side. And what that could eventually do is force them to have to kind of close that gap over there. But where one door closes, another opens, and really you make that 4-hole that much bigger for Jacob Wilson to drive the baseball through. There's not a more even distribution of knocks across baseball. That's as good as it gets.
Maybe one more opposite field hit, just even it out a little more.
That's just
unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Like a perfect pie chart, but on a baseball field.
But seriously, when you look at that distribution of balls in play, that's where, as a opposing coach, you have to dive into the video and get a feel for where you think you want to align them.
Two and one now for Lawrence Butler.
That's why I call him Willie the Wizard with the wand, because it is magical what he's able to do with a bat in his hand.
Wilson having another multi-hit affair here tonight. Tied Shea Langoliers with 17 multi-hit games. Best in the majors, those two. And Lawrence went around. That'll be strike 3. One comes in, insurance added. 4-2 A's. To you by Toyota. Both pitchers have been struggling all year, looking for bounce back outings. Kyle Bradish got it. 7 innings pitched for him, 3 earned runs, but those 3 earned runs put the A's on top in the 5th. And they just added another in the 8th. 4-2. Nick Kurtz, 2 for 4. It's a triple tonight. The bullpen, we're going to finish the work here. 8th inning's going to belong to Joel Kuhnel. Defensive changes we'll get you in a second. Weston Wilson will lead it off as the 9-hole hitter. Take a strike.
You know, this is where having the experience that Joe Kuhnel has really comes into play. You got a tight ball game. This guy's been out there closing ball games. He knows what it's like to pitch in leverage situations. Coming right now, you got a 2-run cushion. You got a weapon in that sinker where you can avoid damage. You can get yourself a ground ball.
Popped up on the infield, foul territory. Shea at the netting with the catch. 1 down.
Well, that's the line for Joel Kuhnel. 13th appearance right here tonight. ERA 2.13. But again, I mean, the most important numbers for me are the ball games that Joel Kuhnel has found himself in and the innings that he's pitching. You know, I talk about Jeff McNeil on the hitting side being willing to hit anywhere in the lineup. Doesn't care how he's helping the team, just wants the opportunity to help the team.
One now for Taylor Ward.
And you can say the same thing for Joel Kuhnel based on his role. Got some defensive changes for you. Zach Geloff out in center. The Law Dog's going to slide over to right. Brett Harris in the ballgame at third now.
Saw this move in Philadelphia a couple games ago. Look at that, hit back towards Kuhnel. Fire a strike over to Kurtz, 2 gone.
Athlete. Go to work, Big Joel. Look, you got one of those devastating sinkers like that. You be ready to pop off the mound and defend yourself.
2 outs here in the 8th. Then Gunnar Henderson up for the 4th time. 0 for 2 with a walk. Appearance for Joel out on this road trip. 1 inning back on the 3rd of May. Chopped to second. McNeil on over to Kurtz. 3 up, 3 down for Joel Kuhnel. We'll go to the top of the 9th. Zach Geloff coming up.
We're calling all college and grad students. You can grab your friends and head to the ballpark with this special offer we've got for you. You can get $10 tickets. That's right, just $10 on select regular season games throughout the entire 2026 season. Get your discounted tickets at athletics.com/value.
We got some umpires chatted up on the field here. Quite sure what the discussion is. We're all settled. Geloff's going to lead it off for the A's, followed by McNeil and Kurtz here in the ninth. Gibson continues to work, just his third outing in the season, third his major league career. Geloff 1 for 3, a single, drove in a run. A's with 8 hits for their 4 runs. Here's the 2-0.
Couple close pitches in, just missing.
And it'll be 4 straight pitches out of the zone. Zach will walk on down to first. Set things up for Jeff McNeil.
There he is, Jack Perkins, ready to go out and slice and dice for that 9th inning.
Give the ABS challenge.
The pitch is called a
Jeff
strike. The
McNeil.
hitter is
He
challenged.
didn't like it. Felt like that ball might have been just a bit outside. I think Mac's probably right.
Count
He
is
is.
1-0.
Three ABS challenges from the Athletics tonight, all of them overturned. 2 from the hitters. That is a strike, 1-1. He'll reach on a hit by pitch. He's had a ground out and a strikeout. A lot made in spring training between Jacob Wilson, Jeff McNeil. The similarities, just one from the right side of the batter's box, one from the left. Look who's in the house.
Oh, the legend,
Just a Hall of Famer.
the legend himself, Cal Ripken Jr.
To left field for McNeil. Long way to run for Ward, and he makes the catch.
Wonder how Cal feels about load management these days.
Oh my goodness.
Well, 2-1-3-1, 2-1-3-2. An incredible day, incredible night here in front of the Baltimore faithful. Pop, you proud? I'd say so. Just an honor to be in the presence of an individual like Cal Ripken Jr. Talk about committing yourself not only to the game of baseball, but to your teammates, to the fans. The definition of posting up.
0-1 to Kurtz, out to left. Ward on the run, and it'll be out number 2. Two gone, and that'll bring up Shea Langoliers.
Cal Ripken, a guy, Jenny, you look back over the course of his career, and I can look back through a lot of different baseball cards, and you see a lot of different setups at the plate, a lot of different stances, and sometimes you have to consider a guy maybe a little banged up, maybe not quite able to do some of the things he would be able to do if he was healthy, but just finding a way to go out and get the job done. And it's not like he was hiding over at first base, not having to range around much. I mean, we're talking about a dude playing the most premium position on the diamond.
It is amazing to look back at that feat. No one will ever come close.
No. Try as they might.
Number 8. 0-2 count here for Langoliers. That's strike 3. Geloff left it first. Time to close it out here in Baltimore. It'll be Jack Perkins.
Copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics.
The Athletics staring down their 20th win of the season. Currently up 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th. And that'll lend way to Jack Perkins. Another save opportunity here for him. Out on the road, Ace trying to win back-to-back games.
Well, we've gotten a really good look at what Jack Perkins is capable of. We've seen him start ball games this year. The responsibility has been out of the bullpen. We've seen him eat up multiple innings multiple times. We've seen him in one-inning bursts. Right now, just trying to lock down the last 3 outs of the opening game here against the Orioles. It'll be Rutschman, Alonso, and O'Neill.
Switch hitting catcher from the left side.
And that's something that Jack Perkins has done a wonderful job of, Jenny, and that's silence the lefties, hitting just 182 against Perk.
Majority offense has come from Rutschman tonight for the Orioles. 2 of the 3 hits. Solo home run. After his timeout, a 1-1 count. The batter's box, and he'll await the pitch from Perkins. Jack in Philadelphia, unfortunately for him, ended up as a loss, a blown save. So now 3 for 4 save opportunities this year.
Ooh. Close.
The other threat of the night, Pete Alonso, waiting on deck. 3-1, and that misses high. It will give the Orioles a base runner with nobody out. Alonso representing the tying run at the plate. With a 9-game hitting streak.
Well, I like it. You bend the polar bear back a little. Get his eyes at the top of the strike zone. That is a dot. Pete Alonso doesn't think so. I would tend to disagree.
Pitch is called a strike. The hitter's challenge.
That was a perfect pitch. That's going to be strike 2, if you ask me. Yep.
The count is 1-2. Baltimore has 1 challenge remaining.
Didn't get much better than that. Now Perkins can stick with that fastball, go back up top, throw that slider away that he got strike 1 on.
2-2. Evened up. Let's change speed, see if he gets back to the fastball. This is inside.
Well, he's done a nice job of moving the baseball all around the strike zone and changing speeds here. And I think if he can execute that slide piece down and away, he'll get his man.
Fans on their feet, very loud here, and it's going to be a foul ball.
Polar Bear responsible for part of the damage. Just a bullet backside out to right field. That was back in the 4th inning.
The payoff pitch, and Jack Perkins wins the battle. It's a sweeper that gets Alonso first out.
And do you know what kind of conviction it takes to stare down a guy like Pete Alonso with the incredible power he possesses to anywhere in the ballpark? You double up on a slider. He hangs in there and fouls the one off prior to this. And this one, believe it or not, an even better pitch. And with the count 3-2, not that you want to add any more traffic on the bases, you want to be able to beat a guy with your best. And Jack Perkins able to dial up a fantastic slider and put it in the perfect spot.
Craig Alvarez is going to go to his bench and bring Dylan Beaverson, the left-handed hitter, as the pinch hitter in place of Tyler O'Neill. We said the splits. 182 is the batting average for left-handed hitters against Perkins.
And maybe what they don't understand quite yet is what kind of a weapon the changeup for Jack Perkins.
First pitch missing.
Couple of sweepers.
Just high.
That didn't miss by much.
Called strike, 2-2. It's going to be an ABS challenge by Beavers.
The pitch is called a strike. The hitter's
This one
challenge.
pretty much in the same spot, at least in terms of east or west. Yep.
The count is 2-2. Baltimore's out of challenges.
And that's why I felt like the pitch previous was pretty good. Maybe just the fact that it was slightly elevated is what didn't get the call.
Orioles lose both their challenges here in the 9th inning.
Now, if he throws another changeup and he can keep it down, he's going to get that wave and a miss.
2-2, just missing and a full count.
Well, we saw the 3-2 slider to Polar Bear. Let's see if we get a 3-2 change piece here to Beavers, or does he just step on the gas pedal? 98, 99, come and get it.
Payoff pitch, a swing and a miss. Went to the sweeper. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2 gone.
I mean, you want to talk about dialing up some nastiness. My goodness.
Samuel Basayo up for the 2nd time. First one with the miss. The 0-1 foul. Orioles down to a strike. Pitch from Perkins and the ground ball foul. Rutschman had the leadoff walk, back-to-back strikeouts. Here's the pitch as Rutschman takes off.
Jack Perkins, a lot of attention at home plate, understandably so. Maybe just fall into a bit of a pattern. Shea Langoliers doing everything he can to try to knock that changeup down. It's a power changeup.
1-2's the count. Here's the pitch. Did he go? They'll check him. Basallo held back. Basallo.
Able to hold up.
2-2 foul again. The battle continues. Two outs in the 2-2. Here's the pitch, a ground ball, having to range, can't get there for McNeil. A run coming home in Rutschman. And Basallo has the Orioles within one.
Well, the stolen base from Rutschman proven to be very, very vital. Basallo able to stay on a changeup and just sneak it through the middle. Looks like that's going to be it for Jack Perkins.
2 outs, 1 on, and Hogan Harris will enter the game ahead of Leody Taveras. We'll be right back. Bottom of the 9th, the tight one here in Baltimore. Orioles just scored a run to make it 4-3 off an RBI single from Samuel Basallo. And now Hogan Harris, the lefty, in to try finish this off.
See if Hogan here in his 21st appearance can't get the job done. Felt like it might be an opportunity for Orioles manager to start matching up. Tavares swinging the pole from both sides of the plate. They'll turn him around. They'll go to the right side.
Hauser coming in to run for Basallo. The bench has pretty much been empty. Blaze Alexander sits on the bench for the Orioles as well, but he was scratched in the starting lineup tonight. So I'm not sure if he's even available. Taveras a hit from the right side against Hogan Harris.
Well, that's where the success has come for Hogan Harris. We've talked about it a lot, but the numbers, they matter. Righty's hitting 156 as opposed to the lefties hitting 286.
1-1. See the career numbers for Taveras against Harris. 2 for 5. Hauser represents the tying run at first. That's the ABS challenge from Shea Langoliers.
Close one.
The pitch is called a ball. The catcher
low.
is challenging. Count is 3-1. Athletics have 1 challenge remaining.
That's a big spot. I think it's a great challenge by Shea.
3-1. That'll miss. And it'll be first and second. Scott Emerson's gonna jog out and chat things up.
Well, this pitch pretty close as well. Not that Langoliers would have challenged it. Scott Emerson going to come out and just kind of recenter the focus, if you will. This meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price.
Jeremiah Jackson, the batter, 0 for 3 tonight. Tying run for Baltimore at second. Cowser. Winning run at first. First pitch, strike up the curveball.
Good pitch by Hogan, just not able to get Jackson to bite on the changeup.
Hogan's had a lot of success out on the road this year. Add more. It's 2 strikes with the foul ball. Jog back at the boos from the crowd here. Two on, 2 outs. Here's the 1-2. Popped up foul territory, and it will drift a couple rows back in the stands. He's trying to hold on here in game 1. 2-2 now.
Jackson has laid off a curveball, laid off a changeup. Gotten himself back to even.
There's the pitch, the foul tip, and Hogan Harris delivers. Strikeout ends the game. The threat from the Orioles and the Athletics officially mount a come-from-behind victory. That's the 10th one of those this season. Win number 20. They're now 20-18, and more importantly, the first win against Baltimore to set the stage for the rest of the weekend.
It was a great start by Jacob Lopez. Get you through 5 1/3, 5 bunch outs. And we talk about just trying to give your team a chance to win, and he did just that. And the boys in the bullpen came in behind him and were able to do a good enough job of keeping this Oriole offense at bay just far enough. They're not able to climb all the way back in this ball game. And the offense, you string together a few knocks back there in that 5th inning. Majority of the scoring, big triple from Nick Kurtz. Jenny, you like to see the pitching and the offense start to align themselves. And when you do, we talk about stacking wins. Tonight's a wonderful example of just that.
Absolutely, another 1-run win for the Athletics. 4-3 the final here. Tomorrow, game 2 will feature Aaron Savali. What a great season he's had in the green and gold. A 3-1 record, a sub-3 ERA. Shane Baz will be on the other side for the Orioles. Both of them making their 8th starts of the season. You mentioned the big fella, Nick Kurtz. He's going to join us coming up. Stay tuned. A's Cast on NBC Sports, presented by Toyota, starts right now.